starting the meeting at 6:36. Call to meeting. And Monet, we're going to have you read Governor Baker's open meeting law.
Okay, here we go. So pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GLC 30A, and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Hubbardston Economic Development Committee will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by the members of the public and or parties with a right and or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the town website. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via Zoom. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the town's website a comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting.
Thank you. All right, here we go. Like to, everybody has the minutes for the previous meeting?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Everybody have a chance to review them?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the minutes, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second,
Second.
anybody? Peter, Peter, you're muted. I'm gonna go in there, hold on.
Second,
Okay. Did you second it?
yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion approved. Okay. Everybody has the agenda? Everyone have a chance to look over the agenda? Review it? Okay,
Yes.
terrific. Okay. I'm glad everyone's here. We have some exciting things to talk about. We have a guest this evening, Denise Kemet. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Are you there, Denise? Okay. let me see
I'm
about this.
here.
Hi there. Thank you
everyone.
for joining us.
Thanks for
So
having me.
Denise, you're welcome. Denise has put an application in to become a member of the committee. I have sent a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen and wanted to give Denise an opportunity to say hello, talk a little bit about why she wants to join the committee, just so we can share that information. So you have the floor, Denise.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short and I won't hold them up like I held you on the phone, Whitney, when we talked.
It's okay.
So I've lived in the town of Hubbardston for, I think I'm actually going on my 23 years this spring. It's a long time. And I was a lot more involved early on when my children were younger and going to Hubbardston Center School, and when I had worked across the street from the school. And then the last 10 years or so, I just really haven't really been all that connected. So I felt like the best way to really reconnect myself would be to volunteer, to serve and get involved. And I just have a passion for small local business, farms, all that stuff. So I was talking to Whitney for a while, and it just sounds like I would be a great fit to join this committee. So hopefully you will all agree.
Terrific. That's great. Does anybody have any questions or anything to say? Monet, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm just having a situation with children, sorry.
Oh, okay, that's okay. I thought you were trying to say something.
No, somebody just had an accident, so I'm having another one help, hopefully.
Oh, I see. Okay, I saw your lips moving. I thought that you were trying to say something relative to Denise.
No, my apologies.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. Well, that's great. Denise, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to, I think March 1st is the date that they're looking at for appointments. And I hope to give you some good news very soon. And thank you for joining us, and feel free to remain so you can kind of get a feel for our meetings, and we could go from there. And if you want to take off, that's okay as well. I am going to move you over to attendees at this point because I need to practice anyhow. Okay. Okay. So let me go to here.
If she accidentally boots you, log back in. Just because I could see that happening. No offense, but I've been booted off a couple times by other. Yeah, it just happens, you know. So just log back in.
Okay, I did it. It worked. Yay! Yay! Okay. Terrific. Okay, first on the agenda is old business, and I just want to talk a couple of minutes about the meet and greet, because at the end of the last meeting, Katie had made a suggestion that we open this to the public or to all residents rather than just the business owners. And so I want to get some ideas of ways that we can really get that out there to people, because I think I may have mentioned that I do have a ongoing email list for the businesses, but I don't have an email list for every resident. So how, I'd like some ideas from folks on how we can get this promoted. And yeah, so I'd like to find out what anybody thinks. Any suggestions for that?
I think the best things would be Facebook. Everybody in the town seems to be very responsive to all of the different pages that are run by a few different people. The other thing would be maybe that little sign down in the center that I don't know who controls that. Katie could probably tell us. The little blinky one by the rec field.
The police.
Throw it up there. People, everybody drives by that.
Okay, that's a great idea. And that makes me think, Katie, is there a way that we could put it in your favorite signage over here by me?
Clark's Corner thing, yeah, you can do that as long as it's got all letters, and the same thing with the blinky. You can also do a reverse email to all the town that has signed up with the town. So it was one that went out today to whoever signed up with the town for whatever. About actually, there was a few of them that went out today. There was Selectmen minutes. There was the sign up for the COVID vaccine that they're having clinic this week.
Yeah.
And there was the response to the whole Chatney situation. So,
okay.
So anyone that has been signed up gets these, depending on what they sign up for. But there's a sign up, and you can get all these emails. I send them out for my special events.
Fantastic. I think those are the three of those are terrific avenues. So yeah, I'll hit them. Katie, would I go to you for the or how do I get that reverse email?
Go to Lori.
Lori. Okay.
Yeah, write up an email and ask her, and forward it to her via email, and ask her to send it along to town residents, and she will pretty much instantaneously. The other thing is you can always put the senior newsletter, because that is starting to go out electronically as well.
Yes, yeah, that's right. That's right. And so I'm just going to give the invite, let's say, to Lori, and she's going to handle it. I don't get the email. I'm not going to do the reverse email. She's going to do it.
Yes, but you have to give her what you want it to say. So in other words, write it up how you want it.
That's what I said. Yeah, I give her the invite to it or whatever. Okay, the wording and all of that. Okay, terrific. All right. I feel better already. Those are great, and I'll get to them. I think I can. Peter, do you want to help me maybe with, no, really, Facebook? Katie, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be an admin for the EDC one. I also went into Quabbin Country. That's a whole other next on the agenda, but wow. I did put the title of it there and the date, but I didn't put any more information about it. So, okay, we'll go from there. We'll get that done right away. Thank you.
Does
Great
anybody
suggestion.
see page on the town website? Because you guys have a
Say it
tab.
again.
You guys do anything with the EDC tab on the town website? Because there's a tab.
No, I
They-
haven't been invited to, and I didn't know how to get access to it either, so no. Mm-mm.
Okay, because this stuff can be put under the tab under EDC as well.
Okay, EDC tab on town website.
You know, like my special events, there's EDC, there's every board and committee has.
I think I just bother Ryan with that stuff and go, could you put it somewhere? So he'll probably be glad that you told me about this. Okay, great. Any other suggestions? These are great, all 5 of them now. Okay. Okay, Quabbin Country. So I've been working a little bit on Quabbin Country, and I'm going to admit that the technical aspects of this platform, this website platform, is very foreign to me. It's very complex, actually. And there's a lot of, going back and forth between pages just to make small edits. So as much as I'd like to be helpful doing that, and it is supposed to be the responsibility of our intern / coordinator, I'm temporarily running it, or trying to work with it, and I probably could use a volunteer to maybe help me with that, if we really want to clean it up the way it's supposed to be cleaned up.
I'm
And
more than
have
happy
it-
to take a look at it. I'm generally pretty good with doing things online, so
Okay, let's
tell
do
me how
that.
to
I would,
access it, then I can absolutely take a peek. Peter just raised his hand too. I mean, maybe if we all had little hands and had a suggestion at the next meeting on how to go forward with it.
okay. Okay, that would be great. I would appreciate that. It is a somewhat cumbersome, and the most difficult thing that I experienced is that when I'm in it and then I want to hit, then I want to open it on another tab to see if my edits are taking, it keeps bringing me into the guts of it. Like it's recognizing that it's me. And so I can't get it from as if I'm just a viewer trying to look at the website itself. Every time the tab opens, it goes right into the editing pages and all of that.
Like it doesn't have like a preview option.
Oh God, wait till you see it, my Lord. You work, the work you do maybe has complicated stuff. I've just never seen anything like this, honestly.
Well, I
So-
peeked at it a little bit because we have our business on there. And even when I was entering in our basic business info, I found it kind of hard, but like I said, I'm more than happy to look at it and see if I can.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That'll be great. I appreciate that. Another thing that Katie, I want to specifically ask you about this. I didn't know, it wasn't explained to me from Todd, that there is a comments, it's under review, okay, reviews, where you can leave reviews for businesses. And I saw some very unkind things that people were saying about businesses. And I don't know if that's something that we want to promote on that. I will admit that when I looked at the website from just a visitor, perspective, I didn't find these reviews or comments, but I don't know if I just don't know how to find them. But when I'm inside working on the pages, there's an entire section, and there's several of them. There's a bunch of, of reviews. And I don't know if that's something that we really want to, promote on that platform.
Yeah, that would be, I would think-
Right?
Yeah, that's probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
I've never that though, I've never seen any comments.
That's what I'm saying. If you've only looked at the website from a visitor perspective, I couldn't find them either. And I did take a photograph of the page, and if anyone wanted to see it, but you wouldn't. I only got to that page from working inside the website.
Okay.
And hopefully they're not posting anywhere, that they're not visible to anyone. But I would like to remove that category from the website entirely.
Yeah, is it? I don't want you to say it here. Then you text me like,
Yeah, like a specific one. That's what I was thinking too, Katie.
but I don't want to sit there and like throw somebody under the bus. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah.
And I did do that. I went to that person's page, and it does say leave a review, but it doesn't show any reviews or comments, and I was grateful for that.
Okay.
I was grateful for that. But
Why would
because
it,
it's,
yeah, why would it be able, is it, are you sure you're still on the Quabbin Country page? You didn't go to their like Facebook or something? Or their
No.
web- It didn't
So
like,
I do, on it, you can see that there is a spot to leave a review. I don't know if you can
Yeah.
see my, you
I
can't really
can-
see my screen. But
yeah,
it doesn't have like a spot to review, like to view the reviews. You know what I mean? Like on like a TripAdvisor or something that you could.
okay.
But I don't see anywhere on here that you could actually.
exactly, and like I said, I'm grateful for that. Katie, I'm gonna send you the photograph right now, okay,
Okay, all right,
of that page.
okay. Yeah, because like,
Well, and I'm wondering that if it's just that is for the business owner that they can see as opposed to the general public.
well, I'm on one right now and I can't see any reviews, but they have a 4-star rating.
Oh,
They got stars, but there's no review that I can read.
Maybe the reviews have to be approved by the administrator of the website prior to
It-
publish.
oh, that's it. That's a good thought. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's a.
Oh, yeah,
that
I
is-
see where you're saying that, Katie. Your overall rating of this listing.
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
So,
Okay, it says it was delivered to you, hon.
yeah, yeah. Okay, now I can, hold on. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me go. Now I gotta figure out how to maneuver through. Okay.
So you see what page I'm on inside that website, see?
Yeah. Now I gotta figure out how to get there. That's my problem. All right, keep talking about something else and I'll let you know.
Okay, okay, and if you want me to, I can go in there and walk you through it, or, yeah, okay. So that's it. We'll go on to new business, and I think that we want to probably all, be present for that. So you know what, folks, bear with us a second. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. QUA. There we go.
Oh my. How would you even, no offense, I really am annoyed with the whole website. Can we just scrap it and start over? I hate to say that, but for the love of God.
I have so not a problem with doing that. You have no
Very
idea.
cumbersome. Like it's really not user friendly at all.
No, it's not. It's like trying to sign up for COVID shots. Like, for the love of God, what's wrong?
Oh, Jesus.
Don't
Stay
even
away.
go there.
Jesus.
I had a bad day today trying to do that.
Did you? Sorry.
Oh, no, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people are having that same. Yeah.
Okay, Katie, I'm in the dashboard, and I believe if you just go down, hold on to comments.
No, I'm still haven't got to find that specific person or
Their business,
yes, because I can't figure out what it's under because
it's under the 6,
oh wait,
and
no,
then
I got it. Shh, hold on.
that's what I said, it's just, yeah,
Maybe.
and then the rest.
Davey, hold on. Let me see if it's gonna be under here. Oh God. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Okay. I found that one.
Denise is probably sitting there going, oh, yeah.
No, I can see a review.
Yeah, see?
I don't, well, hold on. Or at least one that you popped up. I don't know if this is a good review because you had like two on the picture.
Exactly, sure,
Okay.
sure.
So the top one that was on your picture was a good review, and that's what I can see. One review. What was your other?
Okay.
Hold on, let me see what the other
I'm
one.
wondering if it does need to be approved then, because if they approved a good one, does the same business have a bad one though that you can see, Whitney?
No,
Okay.
The one that has the bad one only has the bad ones, and the ones with the good ones only have, only have good ones. There, there's no,
I
there's
can't,
not one.
I can only see that top one from Lee that you sent me the picture. The other business I haven't found.
Okay, well, go under, do you know that? Okay, I'm gonna text it real fast.
Yeah, give me the business name and what town. 'Cause
All right, I'm gonna mute myself a minute,
Okay,
because I'm gonna say it into my,
I hate this website. I can't. I hate this website. It's horrible.
When I was trying to do it for our business, I really got very frustrated with it, Katie. I remember you telling me, you're like, oh, it's awesome. And so I was like, I went on and I was like,
Well, I was
It's just-
trying to be positive. Okay. And
no,
just
I know.
went-
And I think I remember you warning me as well to be like, oh, we're trying this, but it should be really good if it does work out, which it would have.
Yeah,
But-
in theory, I like the idea of the drop down boxes, and I like the idea of the town, and I like the, you know what I mean? But it's too clunky the way it's done. It's too difficult to maneuver. And some things are under wrong categories, and some things don't even make sense. Like, why is it under that category?
I
know,
agree. Yeah.
It's very, and like, there's some stuff that I had to sit down with Todd and go, I'm like, that business hasn't been around since 1982. Like, what the hell? Like, where did you get this information?
Jeez.
Okay.
yeah, the other thing also that is that they're overlapping as well.
Yeah.
So you'll see, some of the same businesses on 3 and 4 different pages. And that's
Mm.
just, this was, yeah, this was, yeah. And I don't know how tied in we are with this hosting company. Did we pay them in advance? I don't know. I'd probably have to find all of that out, but I'm just not comfortable with any of this activity going on, and I don't want it to erroneously get on, somehow. I'd rather obliterate that category from the web page, from the editing pages and everything. Just have it done from the dashboard, removed.
No,
I
I
think
cannot see
In
that one.
agreement about that.
Say it again, please.
I cannot see the bad one.
Okay.
Only see the good review,
Okay.
but I don't know how it would know the difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only
I
way
don't
can
either.
look at it is that if it does need to be approved by the business or not.
Right. Or by the
Mhm.
administrator, or by the administrator.
Oh,
Like,
true.
somebody like myself or Katie or Ryan or whatever, perhaps that's it. But, so should the comments / reviews be removed?
I would,
Because go ahead.
yeah, because I mean, you can always Google them under Better Business Bureau or whatever. You're gonna find if there's always a spot to write a bad review. Yelp.
Right.
You know. So,
that-
and I don't want to poison our, because people do have bad experiences no matter how good a business is. And I hate to say that. You could just,
But I don't want,
go ahead.
we don't want to encourage people to leave bad reviews. I'd rather encourage people to reach out to who they're having the problem with and try and resolve it, rather than say, oh, I'll just get online and leave you a bad review. Blah.
That's very
that's-
old school thinking. And today people just go right on and they fly on and write up whatever they can to as many things as they can because they're irritated. And it's more of, keyboard heroes situation.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And the whole thing
Peter, I
is,
saw you I'm sorry, go ahead.
and then there's the other flip side too. There's some people that you will never make happy. Like, you know what I mean? It's like impossible task. And unfortunately, you're dealing with them and there's nothing that's going to make at that point in time,
Yep, you know that. Peter, you were rolling your eyes a minute ago. What were your thoughts about removing the reviews comments page or ability?
I think I was stretching my eyes.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, I don't know if I would remove it,
Uh-huh.
you know, because everybody likes to see a comment section. I think I would dig into it a little more to see if the comments have to be approved first.
Yeah, that, and if you can approve them, can you approve them individually? So in other words, you know, if you have one, you know, 5 good ones and 1 bad one that's like just off the rails, you have
Right.
to approve them all, or can you approve them individually? Not that you want to sit
Right.
there and sway people, but at the same time, if there's like 1 out of a group of 5, you know, maybe something just wasn't, you know,
Right,
yeah.
yeah. I think one person could be having a bad day and go to the business and, you know, just still have a bad day, even though everything was good.
Right. Well, I have to also say that, you know, when this website was created, I never anticipated it having anything like that. It's meant to be a directory and
Mhm.
information about the business, and I did not know that it was going to be a forum for any kind of reviews or comments. That was surprising. From the way it was described and what the intention behind it was, that didn't fit with it. That's just my opinion.
Well, the whole website little tiny bit of the website. Like it wasn't
Right,
a directory, and that's what it ended up turning into. You know what I mean? That was
right,
supposed to be like a nugget.
right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it was supposed to be a great platform for people to be able to advertise their business and that kind of thing. And, you know, I've spent months and months, you know, talking about it and, oh, you know, and it's free and just get in there and do what you want. And, you know, and now I don't want anyone to look at it in its current state. In its current state. Okay, so what
There
should
is also probably an option to have it like taken down, like for construction purposes until you figure out things like that. I
right?
don't know, and instead of scrapping the whole thing, if you can fix it, you know, a couple key things about it. I don't know.
Sure. Well, Katie, what are your thoughts? Because we were kind of involved in this from the beginning, okay? And I think that, you know, the intention was, I think, different than what it's ended up to be. Do you think, what are your thoughts on just rewriting it, so to speak, as opposed to everybody's input about removing those particular reviews and comments? I do want to, you know, get a decision this evening about, you know, what we want to do about that. Because
Well,
I don't want to spend any more time on it if it's, you know, the end result is not going to be satisfactory, or we need to revisit this over and over again.
okay, well, quit talking now. So,
Okay,
so, as for
can't help herself. Please excuse her. She absolutely cannot help herself.
okay, so the whole thing, scrapping it and starting over. I mean, realistically, that would be great, but that might be the same amount of work. So
Right.
again, if I'm not the one that's working on it and actually doing the work, I'm not going to make that decision because I'm not the one pulling my hair out. You know,
Right.
Either way, it doesn't matter. It's the whole thing. What it is not what it's intended to, or not what the intention of it was.
Right.
It was not meant to be a directory. It was meant to be a partial directory, but the bulk of it was to highlight 5 towns and pull us all together and help
That's
advertise.
right. That's right.
To have people either move here, visit here, you know, come hiking, come camping, you know,
Sure.
the night, the Airbnb. Here's our schools. Look at all this awesome stuff we do. Yay, us. But it turned into a directory. So I don't know which way is going to be easier. I'm not a web designer. I'm not going to pretend to be a web designer. I have no freaking
Right.
clue. So that's you guys' call. It's not what it's supposed to be. It's not.
Okay. I agree. I agree. I think that we should also take into consideration what Monet was talking about, and in terms of the difficulty for businesses to get in there. And perhaps that's why it hasn't been built up any further. Maybe people got in the first time and did their their postings and that kind of thing, and then just said, oh man, that's just a big pain in the butt, and I'm not going to go in regularly and update and talk about specials or what's going on. Is there, am I hitting a little bit there, Monet?
I think so, yeah. And I think that there's just other ways for businesses to promote themselves that are more efficient. Like Facebook, I hate to keep going back to it, but I mean, for a small town, that's really kind of a huge way to get to a lot of people. So,
Right.
and I don't know if a younger generation is going to go and search through a whole directory for that kind of stuff. They'd use Yelp, they'd use, do you know what I mean? Like ones that are already very established and very seamless and able to find things.
Yeah. Okay.
So I
Okay.
personally think it might just be a waste of time to kind of do more with it. If you're saying that it's not what it was intended to be, if it's not anything close to where it should be. So
Yeah.
yeah, personal opinion.
Wow. Wow. Okay, that's some big decisions then. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to the person who contracted everything. She had sent a tutorial to Ryan that he passed over to me. I'm gonna talk to her about removing some things from it, also finding out if there's a way to design it that's more of text highlighting things like Katie was talking about, that we would just, like focus on one town, a spotlight in one town, and then have, a lot of information about different things going in there, which we don't have right now. And if I can maybe, get it more towards information about the 5 towns and them coming together and working together and come and visit, one on one day, next town on the next day, and have the directory part of it be a smaller percentage, let's say, of the website, I think that might be suitable. I think that we might be able to put it in the direction of the original intention that we thought, by changing that platform or that design around a little bit.
Sounds
Does that
good.
make sense? What's that?
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll work on that. I'll find that out, and we'll talk about it at the next meeting. Okay. Okay, great. On to new business. So I got the results of the survey, and that was terrific fun, and I want to share them with you. And so I'm going to pull them up real fast. There we go. Okay, so the survey says it saw 529 respondents. And that was this is equal to 11% of Hubbardston's 2018 population, or 15% of Hubbardston's registered voters 2020. A little more than 64% of respondents had school-aged children in their households. Okay. And so we go down to our pages, our questions. And here we go. Under the question, the Hubbardston Economic Development Committee is working to support our local businesses. Are you for or against improving the current sign bylaw to make it easier to understand? 66.7% said they need more information, which clearly kind of answered itself. 30.6% said that they were for that. And the balance, which would be what, 2.7%, were against it. Okay, so clearly we need to work on that. We need to work on how we can explain to the community what we're talking about. So obviously these are not things we're going to be able to do tonight, but we're going to have a little bit of homework with this. Does anybody have any comments about that?
Yeah, do it at a town meeting.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, explain it at a town meeting.
Well.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Katie.
It's already, a new sign bylaw has been written by the planning board. It has to go for a bunch of open, meetings and all kinds of stuff and approvals to go to the town meeting to be voted on. Now, that being said, you have to get the information out before the town meeting, or else it's not gonna go over well, because that kind of stuff is too much to just talk about. I mean, obviously we're gonna talk about it at the town meeting. But the bulk of the information has to go out long before the town meeting. Now, that being said, we have the open meeting to discuss this. It will be done by the planning board. And that's the biggest thing. If people have questions, if we get the bylaw in front of them and also invite them to that meeting, then all can be explained if there's questions about it. So the information from that needs to get out to people.
Okay. And the information, you're not talking about the survey, you're talking about the new bylaw, the current bylaw.
Yeah, the bylaw that they wrote. It was
Yes.
supposed to go to the townspeople last June, and then
Okay.
again in September. And it didn't go in June because of COVID, and they didn't want to seem like anyone was rushing things due to, trying to sneak something through and sneaky. So they put it off to the special town meeting. But then they kind of wedged themselves into a corner where that the public meeting was the last day they could possibly get it in. And they, because one person wasn't available and one person couldn't get into the actual meeting. So they called it. So
Okay.
they had no meeting, and there was no way to have another meeting in time, because there has to be a certain amount of days and it has to be posted and all this other stuff, all this criteria before it goes to town meeting. So I had to get scrapped again. So yeah. So the planning board was just at our select board meeting last week. I think it was, I don't know, they all blur together at this point. And was talking about, that was one of the things they were talking about. So the start making sure people are aware that, we have to start that process again.
Okay, so am I to understand that there's already that documentation, let's say, about what the new bylaw will be, and that's the information that has to get out?
Yes, the sign
Okay.
bylaw is on the town website. I want to say it's on the proposed. I say new sign bylaw, it's proposed. It's not, nothing's been voted on.
Sure.
Yeah, I just want to make that clear, because sometimes when I say things like, no, that it's on, I want to say, the town website under the planning board. You can read it in full.
Okay, and we should, really, I expect that, well, perhaps at the Q&A, some of these questions are going to come up. Some of the the results of this are going to come up at that particular meeting. So I do want to be prepared for that as well. Okay, so all right, so we will wait for that, and then how do we determine that that information has been gleaned, and and decisions can be made on that? Is this question going to have to go onto the next survey?
What question?
The question about are you for or against improving what will then be the current sign, the sign bylaw?
Why would?
No, it'll go to vote.
Yeah, and we don't know. Okay, so this survey, there's not gonna, to my knowledge, I don't think there's any plans to have a follow-up survey, at least not right now. But
Okay.
Second of all, let's work with what we got right now. Let's not worry about a next survey. Okay, let's deal with the task at hand.
Well, I understand that. I just wanted some clarification. And once this information is out, how do we know how many people now have read it, now understand it? How do we make a determination, or is it not even up to us at that point?
You have, this is, at this point, it's the planning board's sign bylaw.
Okay.
But it falls under EDC it's going to help the businesses. So therefore, the EDC should be helping try to filter this information out. So in
Right.
other words, whether it's talking at meetings, sending emails out to businesses,
Okay.
answering any questions, directing people where it is, any of
Okay.
that. They can read it,
Okay. I
know,
got it.
talking about when the open, meeting does come up, the public meeting about it, if they have questions,
Right.
just go, comments, anything like that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Another item for the reverse email. You can put
Yeah.
it in there with that.
That's true too. Okay. Okay, terrific. All right, the next question. Our current bylaws allow for no more than 20% of the square footage of a residence to be used for a home-based business. And we asked if they would support 20%, 30, no more than the current 20%, 30%, 40%, or no opinion. And the results are 36.7% have no opinion. 26.1% said 40% of the home. 19.5% said no more than 20%, which is what it currently is. And 17.7% said 30% increase. So in this case, I think, Katie, tell me if I'm wrong, since the largest percentage is no opinion, we go to the second largest opinion, the second largest. Am I correct?
Well, if the whole thing is like a whole bunch of people have no opinion, then we got to look at the other three opinions, see where they all fall.
Right.
And if the bulk of the people are looking at bumping it up to either 30 or 40,
Right.
it's one of those, that question, I think may later on, I wouldn't worry about it too much this second, but that question, it could be changed in the future to make it larger, I believe, the answers that we got.
Above the 40%?
No, not above the 40%, either make it 30 or 40% of your house. You know what
Okay.
I mean? Bump it up to either the 30 or the 40, because the bulk of the people that answered either didn't care, or they said bump it up to 30 or bump it up to 40. If
They
you
said
put-
bump it up to 40. The 30, the no opinion was the largest, and the second largest was 40%.
yeah. But then you also had people that, what I'm saying is if you add all three together, can you
Okay.
screen share?
I'm
Screen
sorry?
share, screen share the survey. Can you do that? You know how? So that
Nope.
way they see what you're talking about. And make a
No.
little. No.
I don't know how to.
Okay, never mind then. Yeah, because Ryan pulls it right up, but that's Ryan. So
I've
anyway,
seen that.
so what I'm saying is the whole pie, the bulk of that pie was
Yep.
either they didn't give a crap, 30 or 40. You know what
That's
I mean?
right.
When you look at the whole pie together. So
Right.
it probably could be bumped up without a major problem.
Okay.
Well, chances are that if they're for the 30, that if you were saying, oh, the 40, they'd be like, oh, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It wouldn't
yeah.
be like a big stink to that
No.
extra
And the
10.
40% is larger. The thing is that we have to make these recommendations to the Board of Selectmen. So we have to, make a decision about, how we want it to be pursued, or what our recommendation for pursuing it is. And so we may have to make a determination, should we just change it now to that 40%? Or 35, do the 30 and 40 together and average it out to 30. I don't know, but that's, that's part of our responsibility is when we get these results, we need to, make up recommendations to the Board of Selectmen. And what direction we think it should go in.
Okay.
So,
Do you
you
plan
know,
on using it, or do you just plan on dumping it in our lap and walking away? That's not what this is for.
no, whoever said anything like that.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm questioning. Like, so then just because just because the EDC makes a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen, then what? That's my question. So like I'm saying right now, this second, making a determination to tell us, as the selectmen is all fine and good, but that I don't think needs to be done this second. What I think needs to be done is looking at the information and determining whether or not the EDC wants to take on possibly looking at rewriting a bylaw if it's worth it for the town.
Well, sure, but that's part of what we need to determine as the recommendation that we want to recommend.
Yeah.
It's not simply we recommend, whatever. We have to back it up. We have to, explain how we think it needs to be done and all of those things. So it's, I'm not saying that we're gonna, suddenly tomorrow I'm gonna write a list of recommendations to the Board of Selectmen. A lot of information has to go in with those recommendations. Like, here's why we recommend it, and here's how we propose to whatever you need to do, advertise it, change that bylaw, and that kind of thing. So there's a lot more. I'm just
Yeah,
saying that this is part of our responsibility. That's all I'm pointing out.
Okay, because the way you it was like you're gonna just give the Board of Selectmen a bunch of recommendations. Like, well, that's great.
No, oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so what I will do is I will, clearly, I think this is made public, even by now it might be. If I don't see it, easy to access for anybody, I'll send this out to everybody and you could just look it over. And at our next meeting, maybe come up with some ideas about those recommendations and, and work, further on that as the meetings go on. Okay. Excluding gasoline, how many times a week do you purchase services from Hubbardston businesses, including food? 46.4% said less than once a week. 28.8 said once a week. 21.4, 2 to 3 times a week. And then the balance, which is, I don't know, 6% or something, said more than 5 times per week. I think that's very telling. Certainly gives us, some food for thought, without a doubt. And what we might need to do to change that around. That number was really surprising to me, to be honest. It really was. 46, almost 50% don't, or less than once a week. So we'll have to put together some ideas about how to turn that around.
Yeah,
Okay.
more business.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking, is that if there's nothing for them to shop for, then what, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's the mini mart and stuff,
Right.
but I mean, there's other, I wonder if when people were thinking about it, they took into consideration like stopping down at like the country store, like to get eggs. Do you know what I mean? Like, or if they were more thinking of like their larger purchases.
No, I think it was pretty, pretty self-explanatory. I mean, I think that when I read it, I just thought, it included really everything. I mean, everything that we have to offer. But it certainly makes me, think that, for, a lot of our conversations are about, bringing people to town, new businesses, that kind of thing. But it makes me realize that, our residents feel like they might be missing something, or there's something missing that, that should maybe be in town, not only for visitors, but really a focus on the, existing residents that are here. Because I believe that if we did have other businesses available, that people would be shopping in them. And so it's just an interesting way to look at it. It's a little bit of a different way, rather than, I've been very focused, as I know some folks are, like I said, to visitors and that kind of thing, but our own residents, might be feeling like there's not enough amenities and, here. So certainly something to think about. Okay. Let me see. I wonder, okay. Okay. Would you support creating a commercial overlay that would allow for certain businesses to be allowed along Route 68? 53.2% said I would support more businesses along Route 68. 41% said I would need to know more about the proposed businesses before making a decision. And then the balance, which again would be about 3-something%, would not support more businesses along Route 68.
That's a good thing.
So, oh yeah, oh absolutely. And, with that, clearly with that particular question, that grant will come in to help us quite a bit, the DLTA grant. for the technical assistance, where we'll be able to do some comparisons, through different towns. I did talk to Alice on the planning board. I emailed her. She said she might have some good information for us, and she was going to look for it and send it to me. I hadn't received it yet, but that's clearly where we're going to have to, get all of that information and, and put that together. But I think that those are good numbers. And I have to say, I was a little bit surprised that that there was going to be that large amount off the bat, said that they would support it.
I was a
Well,
little, believe it or not, even though I'm the one that's like all for it, as long as it's written well, we don't want, I know it's not going to happen to anybody anyway, but there's no, like big Walmarts or anything being allowed in, I have an idea in my head of what I think it should look like,
Right.
and, we want everything to fit into the characteristics of town, but a lot of people, as soon as you say that, they start freaking out and thinking, I don't want a Walmart next door. And it's like, that's not what we would have.
But I think, I think that we touched on that at the last meeting about, or the meeting before, when we were putting the questions together. And I had, said, do you think that there's any value in, in including particulars about it, like a building that would not exceed, 25,000 square feet, a building that would not be more than 2 stories, and that kind of thing. And I think that, maybe if people had more of that information, that type of information, because aesthetics seem really important to folks, right? That perhaps, that would help them.
Well, it's not only aesthetics, criteria. So that way it's not like there's not trucks coming in and out and like,
Sure.
because surprise, like deliveries, and you think about things that you don't really, realize, like the business makes lots of trash, so there's, there's everywhere. I think you don't want that next to your neighbor, like you just don't want, there's certain things you don't necessarily want next door. And I understand that. It's like, I got horses next door over here. We got dirt bikes over there. It's like, whatever. But I get not everyone wants to live next to this, you know what I mean? And I see all their points because,
Right.
So, and that's the thing is a lot of it is not only aesthetics, but it's also what does this business, like what are going to be the afterthoughts, of like trash, deliveries, noise.
Well, okay, so that would be impact. What would be the impact on the community? Sure. Yeah. Would a particular business on any day, require a police presence, either for traffic, direction and that kind of thing? All of those things. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't blame a single person for feeling that way and wanting to get as much information as they possibly can.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that, to that grant and what information they can give us, assist us with, and putting that together and seeing, where we can go from that. So that's going to be a nice project. Okay, and I want to say that, yeah, that's it. That was it for our questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5 questions. So interesting results and a lot to work with for sure. And we'll get to them at future meetings. Okay, and next thing on the agenda, any comments about any of this? Any questions about any of this? I have to say I'm also a little bit surprised at the percentage of people that responded to the survey. But perhaps those low figures are fairly normal. I don't.
Are you kidding? That's the highest.
That's just terrible.
Well, that's the truth. Oh.
Well, and I feel personally that there was a lot of advertising about it, a lot of promotion. Hard to miss that this survey was available. And so I don't know how, what we might be able to do to bump up the participation with these surveys, but I'd like to maybe, think about a couple of things. Because, yeah, that's just,
I think there's a large percentage of people that just don't use computers.
That what?
They just don't use computers generally. So like to get on and to find the survey and where it was, and they just say, oh,
Yeah.
well, squat somewhere else. I don't know. I
Well,
just,
you know, you might be right, because I did hear, and I kind of, I'm hoping that I'm getting the figures right, but I was told recently that our population was, I think 65% of our population was over 75 years old, or 75% of our population was over 65 years old. And I actually can't remember who I had that conversation with. If that's true, then I think that Monet has hit a very major point there.
well, it wasn't, I
uh,
didn't write it down, but you had mentioned the percentage of the people that had school-aged children. And then I
Yeah.
think that might give you a better way to gauge that question. If
Yeah.
those,
That's true. That's true as well. But with that, demographic, I'll bet that there's quite a few people who are not familiar with computers. I mean, I know that a lot of seniors, like doing Facebook with, their grandkids and that kind of thing, or FaceTime and whatnot, but perhaps, getting online and going to a survey is not their cup of tea. And so maybe we should look into that so that it can be more, everybody's invited to partake. What's that word I'm looking for?
Well, yeah, but I did mine on my phone.
Inclusive. Say it again.
I took mine on my phone. I don't sit on a computer. So if I'm saying,
But Katie, if a senior doesn't want to go to a computer to do this, I don't think they're going to want to go to their phone to do it.
but you just said if they're on their phone doing Facebook, that's where I click the link.
Well, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't go to a website or nothing. I just clicked the link on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
that's a good point.
Okay.
That's how I got to it as well. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's, that's one way. And I'd like to think of some others, because I think that, having everyone included as best we can, so no complaints. Ha ha. Like that'll ever happen. So yeah, let's think of some other ways also to, and I could even talk to, the Council on Aging and see if they have any ideas. Certainly put it in their monthly newsletter. And perhaps even we can have a day that Claudia might just, allow everybody that's in the senior center to sit down, fill it out right then and there, walk away, and then the next person comes and sits down and fills it out if they're not familiar. I'm sure that the Council on Aging would work with us, because their vote is just as important as my neighbor with a 12-year-old child in school.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's a very good idea.
Okay. So we've got Facebook, and I'll just say Claudia. Okay, good. Thank you. Last two things on the agenda is the EDC internship / coordinator. We need to find one. So if you might just think of somebody comes to mind, please let me know, or touch base with them about it. I will get it reposted on the EDC Facebook page. And Katie, could you help us on your Facebook page as well?
Yeah, once it's on the EDC page,
You'll just take it? Okay, fine. Yeah, okay, that's good. I'll get to that shortly. Taryn's gonna sign me up as an admin, and I'll go from there. And then also we have another vacancy as well. And so if anybody has any ideas for someone who might want to join the committee, that would be terrific. And just to pass their information, actually they can fill out an application, and they get sent to us, and we'll go from there. But there are two things that they're important. We need assistance. Right now we have today we have 4 voting members, Sharon, and then hopefully Denise. So we would be to 6, but that's still a lot of work for just the 6 of us. So the more people that we can have on board as soon as possible, even though we're able to vote, we have a quorum. Want to get as many people as possible, so to share the wealth, so to speak. Okay. Last on the agenda is community concerns. Anybody know of any community concerns? Anybody hear of anything or worried about anything? Need our help with anything? Nothing? Okay, Danielle, you still with us? I just asked.
Yes, I am. I am.
Okay.
I couldn't
All
get
right.
to unmute. I'm like, yes, yes, I'm here.
Okay, so, all right, well, that's it. Does anybody have any comments about anything, any questions or
I do.
anything at all?
I got one.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when is the information gonna start coming out about the meet and greet? Because you're killing time by
Well,
not,
I've got information out about it already. I mean, I have some of the I have it out to some businesses.
okay, put it in my
Yeah.
little, I'll start spreading it around on the internet.
Okay, no problem at all. I'll put it in, for you, I'll put it in a form that's more kind of like a text body, if you will. And, okay, all right, and I'll get that over to you.
Yep, awesome, thank you.
Okay, and also, I'd like for some, well, if nobody still wants to be the mediator of that Q&A, let's try and think of somebody who would be willing to volunteer for that. Okay.
Oh, look, I'm like the
Yeah,
worst. I'm a good mediator.
what's that?
I'm a good mediator, just not online.
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody from a different board would be willing to be moderator. If
Oh, yeah, and absolutely. I mean, it does not have to be someone on from our committee at all, and not at all. Oh, we could ask Lori if she wants to be the mediator, our town clerk. I could easily do that. I'm not
I
saying she
love
would.
that. I think
What's
you
that?
I love it.
Well, if you feel that strongly about it, Katie, you ask her.
I'll text her right now.
That'd be great. Okay, there we have it. Meeting is done. Need to motion to adjourn, please.
Motion to
A
adjourn.
second, right?
Thank you very much. Time
Okay.
is 7:38.
7:38.